Welcome back, everyone, to theCUBE's coverage here on the East Coast studio for theCUBE, here on the balcony overlooking the New York Stock Exchange, on the floor behind us, opening bell. We're into day two, wall-to-wall coverage on Wall Street. Obviously, theCUBE connecting Silicon Valley and Wall Street, our new studio locations. Raj is here, he's the COO and CFO of Lilt. Great to have you. Good to see you last night at the dinner reception of the founders, like the founders of all founders.
Absolutely.
Meeting together. Great to have you. All the AI leaders were there. Great
Absolutely,
to see you.
yeah. It was a phenomenal event. Thanks for making it happen.
Thanks for coming on. So you're running the trains over there, making the trains run on time, making sure they don't run out of cash.
Yep.
Right? And that's a good thing, right?
Yes.
That's good. Being the CFO, you got to protect the cash. You know, I always say the secret to startups is don't run out of money.
Yeah, yeah.
So Raj, you guys do really cool translation, language models. Obviously language is not just English.
Yep.
And then you also have other languages. Machines talk to each machines.
Yeah.
Processes are its own language, we always say in theCUBE. Talk about the company, where you guys are at right now, size, formation, stage, what's the stats?
Perfect, okay. So just give you a little bit of the history of the company, and so you get a sense of who we are. Company founded by two Google Translate folks who met there. Both have PhDs in natural language translation. Our CEO is now one of the co-founders. And the vision was really about getting access to information to the entire world, no matter what language they speak, right? That was like sort of the real vision. Initially, the perspective was we do it purely through AI, and this was AI before ChatGPT, so it was sort of the much more visionary thinking back then. But over time, you sort of realized that the real opportunity is with enterprises, where the cost of making a mistake is extremely high, and you need to offer translation of the highest quality. So what I think our real secret sauce is to bring AI and the human in the loop, deliver extremely high quality at a much lower cost than average. So our classic customer is Intel, for example, large enterprises. Imagine they have marketing content, product content, legal content, all that needs to get translated into different languages. You need to have the right level of quality to deliver that. So we would be the right solution provider for someone like Intel, and they are one of our key customers.
Yeah, translation comes up a lot with theCUBE because we'd love to have our CUBE interviews translated into foreign language, but we're a small language model, but I can see the value of continuity in the business as a big factor. How often does that come up? Because most of the conversation is around governance, but governance is also a part of making sure you don't get the language wrong when you have processes. Talk about that factor.
Yeah, no, I think, so if you think about regulated industries like financial services or life sciences, where you need to make sure that certain content, like your prescription specifications, your compliance documentation, has to be really translated into the local languages, and it has to be accurate. There's no room for error, and so the cost of the mistake is extremely high. A good example of that, John, is like National Weather Service. So we are the official translation engine for them. That have been, they have the high risk of making, if there's a mistake in how the warnings are communicated and the speed at which the warnings are communicated, there's lives at stake. And so that is like, there's no room for error, and I think that's why they'll work with someone like Lilt.
And the business models of subscription?
Yeah, so we have, so on the enterprise side, we have sort of the software platform. So there's a subscription model for that. But the key thing is that on top of that, we have human in the loop. So we actually have a base of over 6,000 translators who actually work on the platform. They're powered, they're using our AI-enabled solution to make them much more efficient. And so we actually, there is a software plus a usage-based, component on top of it.
How much is the language, English versus foreign language, is out there in terms of scope, the magnitude of the delta between English and foreign language and character? Obviously, the internet was first originally ASCII, which was English-based, then it became Unicode-based. Language, these models are all trained on mostly English.
Yeah.
What's the scope of that?
Great question. So I'm just like stepping way back, right? Like if you think about it, roughly about 400 million in this world where English is a native language. If you include people for whom English is not the native language, that's about 1 billion people. That leaves about 5 billion people who don't speak English, right? And as you exactly said, the models, the large language models, roughly 95% of the training data is in English. So what's really important is that you have domain-specific modeling, right? And that's where we come in. We do hyper customization. So we have like 17,000. We have our own foundational models for translation, and we hyper customize it for the customer. And it's the language pair, it's their content, it's trained on their specific content, and within that, there's within the domain specialization. So you probably have read this a lot. The general models generally do fine, but when you actually get them deployed for a specific application, they can very quickly go off the rails, and that's where specialization is super important.
It's interesting. People who are in the AI, in the know in AI, have been around for a while. Even anyone that knows linguistics, word combinations matter, especially in technology where jargon is important.
Yes.
Knowing the nuances of combination of words is super important. This isn't just hit a button and translate a transcript. That's not what you're doing. I mean, there's deeper than that.
Yeah, John, you're spot on. So if you think about, a brand, they have their own way. There's a whole tone of how you want to communicate your brand message, and it has to be captured. The essence of that is captured, and you can immediately tell if it's a machine translated or a AI translated one. So I think the domain specification, right? So we spend a lot of our specialization in training our models to capture that domain specific knowledge. Everything from terminology to the tone of voice. To their the historical phrases that they want to be kept exactly the same. That's where the in-depth knowledge comes in.
Okay, so you have me sold on this. I love the product. Obviously, we do CUBE interviews. We're in English. We have a feature where we have our own little language model with the CUBE AI, and we have a feature where you can transcribe the transcript. It just flips it into language. And again, it doesn't translate. And we spot check it. I can't really check how well it translates to Japanese, for instance, or Korean. But when I show people, like, it's like, they roll their, they're polite when they say it sucks, okay? It's not good, okay? And so this is where I like the opportunity, because I would like to buy the service. How do I engage? Pretend I'm a customer. What do I do? Do I connect via an API, or is it a service? Do I move my language model over? What's the process? Take me through that, because if I'm a customer, I want to get involved.
Absolutely. So we effectively, I think if you look at our product, this is important, again, in the enterprise context. Like, you're a customer, you probably have content sitting on S3 somewhere, and then your Google Drives, it could be like even PowerPoint presentation, and you just like, hey, look, figure out how do you get all this content from my content management systems and translate it and publish it back to me, right? You don't want to be emailing content to us. So the orchestration layer really that we have built is hooks into your content management systems to grab the content, take it through our translation methodology, bring it back and publish it back. So, and we had, this is another differentiating factor that we have, which is the seamless orchestration. And now you might insist, like, no, actually, I'm going to bring my own model, and because we have trained on this,
it's great.
we actually allow model interchangeability. So you can bring your own model and hook into it. So I think this took a lot of investment to get to this place, and that really enables us to serve customers with a kind of wide variety of needs.
I'm sure the founders at Google saw a lot of the scale challenges too, and just from a business model standpoint, localization has been around for a while. I mean, every app has a localization plan. It usually lags the initial feature, but it's expensive too. Now you multiply that expense by the language models as training, and then inference. Take us through that process. Of degree of difficulty to how fast you guys turn that around. Take us through that.
Absolutely. So to your point about how big this space is, it's 30 billion. The localization is a $30 billion market. Like, that's massive, right? And I think, as you said, it is expensive, and it's been a constraining factor why more content is not getting translated and accessible. And that sort of has been Lilt's mission. We have really cut through that cost barriers by using AI. Now, I think in terms of the degree of difficulty, as I said, there is a hyper customization that the models had to be done. At the same time, we have translators across every single time zone across the world. So they have to be in real time running the AI models and being, and the other really extremely valuable thing about us is the models are continuously learning. So as the human in the loop data is coming in, the models readjust over time. So the speed at which the models react, so the infrastructure that we had to build to allow that to happen globally 24/7, I think that's been sort of an engineering feat, and that's why we made a lot of the investments.
Raj, talk about the cost involved, because one of the big things obviously in AI is the CapEx on build out, as we see that with GPUs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Operational costs also kick in. What's the financing plan? What's your investment thesis around capital?
Yep.
How much have you raised? What do you guys need? How's that playing out in the economics?
Yeah. I will not get into too much of the specifics, John, but I can tell you, I think we have gone well past product market fit. I think we now have a very established set of several large enterprise customers. Our biggest CapEx needs now is about distribution. So the investments we're now making is to build up our sales team, marketing, adding more channels. To your point, the AI models, the technology is going to continue to evolve, and we'll continue to make the investments there. We have some sort of capital raise needs. We are sort of we're backed with some pretty strong capital.
How much have you guys raised so far?
Over $100 million so
you
far.
Have some good some dry powder.
Yeah.
So you're ramping revenue.
We are ramping revenue. Yes.
How's that going?
It's pretty good. I think 23 we came off a pretty strong year with 40% growth. This year in 24 we are likely to end with 60% growth top line, and the momentum looks pretty strong.
What's the vibe of the company? You guys wake up every day. You guys are actually language experts. When you guys show up to work every day, what's the DNA of the culture?
Yeah. So John, let me tell you what gets me excited, and I think what gets most of our associates excited is, if you just think about the promise of AI, you think about a tutor for every child, right? Like that is like with what Khan Academy is doing, we're already seeing some of that. A personalized, a doctor or a lawyer. That's the promise. But the challenge, and I think the reality is possible, but the challenge is that most of the models that are built right now are in English. So being able to enable globalization of the power of AI, I think that's super exciting. And by the way, in addition to sort of all the translation stuff I talked about, we're now working with the large language models builders to enable to make those models multilingual. And we're perfectly suited because we have the AI expertise, we have the multilingual expertise, and the human in the loop expertise, all three required for this.
It's a global economy. You got to have this in real time. And generative is not pre-programmed. You got to be ready for everything.
100%, yeah. And I think you mentioned generative, John. I think the other thing that are now branching, sort of expanding our product base is now, not only can you translate, but also if you say, look, I want to write a blog in German, but it has to be related to the CUBE nomenclature, etc. And and we will just sort of generate the blog. Right?
Well, if we talk about Kubernetes, you better get that right. And these are the translation nuances. I mean, we've seen it many times. A lot of the dictionaries, old school methods, don't apply.
Yeah.
Because there's always new language coming in. Jargon's a great example.
Yeah.
I mean, jargon really can help AI be better, because if you can put context around jargon, you can get so much more extraction out of that data. And this is again not well understood, but vector embeds and technology around neural networks, it is a brain.
Yeah.
And it's a human brain-like simulation of technology.
Yeah.
So you got to have the context cues built into the retrieval.
Absolutely. And so I think if you just think about the whole genesis of our large language models with the decoder, encoder, all was built off of the translation problem statement, right? So that's where Google built it, and I think that's really been the basis of that. So
I think our traffic would go through the roof if I could just have an easy button for translating SiliconANGLE.com, which is a great site. We do all the top reporting there, the CUBE research, but it's so difficult to translate. My choices are hiring a firm to get it right, which is still not even a guarantee.
Yeah.
So I got to have a mechanism to scale, and if I could stand up websites with low code or no code, I can have multiple versions of SiliconANGLE up and running.
Yeah, and John, to be honest, you're the perfect customer for us, and we should absolutely talk.
This is a sales call. I'm in.
Yes.
Can I get a good discount? CUBE discount?
We
No,
should
you're the
chat,
CFO, of course,
absolutely.
no. No, but I mean, on all seriousness, I think
Yeah.
this is really going to be, I think, we're living in a world where, real time, but parallel innovation is happening.
Absolutely.
And this is where I think language fits beautifully into this notion of, it's not like a slow roll waterfall methodology of rolling product out.
Yeah.
You got to roll out product at the same time globally has always been a huge challenge.
Yeah.
Whether it's an app translation or model integration, and again, more models are coming out. Hugging Face every day. That leaderboard is bigger and better,
Yeah.
and with more models.
Yeah.
And the models have a power law. You have the
Yeah.
big models, and you got specialty models, and you got kind of specialty models that have proprietary data.
Yeah.
So I want to protect that data. I don't necessarily want to have that data, mistranslated.
Yeah.
So even in enterprises, I can see them loving this.
Absolutely, and I think this is, frankly, one of our selling points is like you cannot use, if you decide to use sort of a large language model, I think there's two problems. One is it is not domain specific and not trained on your data, and B, you're sending your data to a, to whoever the language provider says. With us, you are actually, it's contained with within the domain, it's protected. And the most powerful thing is we're actually training it on your domain-specific knowledge.
Yeah, what about transcription? That's another area that's come up a lot. Initially, we use transcribes systems for our videos in real time in the cloud. I want to go to transcription. That's also an opportunity.
Yeah. No, we have kind of focused predominantly on the multilingual aspect of it, but if you think about the multimodal nature of the data, so we are seeing an explosion in terms of the different forms of data that's coming in or the media that's coming in. So it used to be primarily text. Now we do,
Computer vision.
voice, we have video, and all of that, and lip syncing, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And that part of the business is growing really fast.
It's interesting. You think about computer vision, for instance, like you can translate what's on vision into describing what's in the picture. That's still language. Video, we're talking. That has language, but
Yes.
it's video.
Yep.
That can be translated.
Yep.
That can then move. So there's so many vectors of opportunity for you.
Yes, I think our challenge will be to sort of making sure we stay focused on the key vectors of growth and just do extremely well in that
I mean,
space.
you have a problem in the sense everyone's a customer.
Technically,
So
yes.
you have to learn really to prioritize. What are your priorities now? As you've got the go-to-market going, you got product market fit, you got a lot of capital, you guys are well funded. What's the priorities?
Yeah, I think as I said, the priority is number one is really sort of on the marketing and growth side. So investing in building our brand. I think we are seeing opportunities, as I said, in multimedia. So enhancing our platform to be able to handle various types of media, and then I think we'll have to continue to invest in the sort of core AI infrastructure space because that is going to change dramatically over time, and we'll always want to be one step ahead.
Well, Raj, great to have you on as someone who's got the keys to the kingdom as CFO, but also running the operations. Got great founder pedigree at Google. Got a great wave ahead of you. You're in the AI Leaders Network now here at theCUBE and NYSE Wired. You excited? We got to be excited.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great platform for us to talk about the company, and I strongly believe that all the excitement of AI, making that accessible for the entire world using different, using the local languages, I think it's a really exciting prospect.
It's going to have impact. You mentioned education, Khan Academy, big fan of Khan Academy. Obviously, the CUBE videos were free content. This is a democratization opportunity.
100%.
To change the world in the sense of truly, Steve Jobs had that famous, I want to change the world. I mean, this is happening.
Yes, yes, and I think we feel almost lucky to be sort of in the center of it to be able to make it happen.
Yeah. Put a plug in for the company for the last minute we have left. What are you guys looking to do? I'm sure investors are probably climbing down on your door, looking to hire. You got goals. Put a plug in for the company and give the pitch.
Now, a couple of pitches. One is if you are a company with global aspirations looking to expand into different markets, you will need to think about globalization and localization much more methodically, and you need a partner who's really knows this, who's AI forward, and Lilt's the company. So come talk to us, visit our website, reach out to me. So that's sort of from a revenue perspective. Employees, we're always hiring for the top quality talent. If you're passionate about democratization of content and AI for the broad masses, like Lilt's the perfect place to be. And then, as a CFO, I'll never stop taking calls from investors. I would love to talk to anyone.
Valuation's going up. Get in while it's hot. Also, talk about the people in these countries. Like, I can see you guys maybe having an ambassador program. Representation of all languages is the goal, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
How do I get involved if I'm watching in Japan or Korea, or I want to be involved on that side? What are you looking for there?
Yeah, no, I think we have a ever expanding need for sort of people with expertise in different domains, as well as the local languages. So reach out to us on LinkedIn, ping our we have a whole team on talent and development on those guys. We'll connect you with those guys to bring you in the loop.
Raj, great to have you on. Linguistics is hot. AI is all about words and combination of words. Translating them to the masses is really going to be the next wave. It's very, not talked about, but this is the key to getting real-time product out into the market to a global audience. I mean, everybody wins. Check them out. They've got a great product. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. Of course, we're doing our job to get things out. In this case, English here in the New York Stock Exchange, at the center of all the action on Wall Street. We got a studio in Palo Alto, in the heart of Silicon Valley, and here in the heart of New York City and the financial markets here at the New York Stock Exchange. Of course, theCUBE's always covering the events, getting all that data, sharing that on our site, on YouTube, and of course, soon to be multi-language. Partnering up, we'll partner up with these guys for sure. Definitely want to be a customer. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Okay.
Thanks, John.
We are here at the East Coast center of the action, one of our super nodes, as we call it. It's a point of presence for our network. Join the community, be part of it, share the content, let us know how we're doing. I'm John Furrier, host of theCUBE. Thanks for watching.